to the mindful musings of two spiritual mamas. We are Alicia
and Shelby,
here to share our 20 years of authentic friendship, life experiences, and acquired wisdom. Infused with love and intention, our episodes will inspire those who are ready to shift their soul path into alignment with its divine purpose.
We will discuss alternative approaches to life's traditional pathways, leaving you with tools in your spiritual toolbox to navigate everyday moments. Knowing and embodying the empowered self on a daily basis is one of the most valuable practices you can adopt. Understanding that you are surrounded by a network of support, both physically and spiritually, will carry you into the next phase of your divine purpose.
You are not alone on this journey. We recognize we're on a spiritual path, navigating our day-to-day lives, and in this podcast, we'll share with you our organic thoughts as we grow and blossom together.
Welcome to episode 18 with two spiritual mamas. Today's episode is all about dancing. So my beautiful friend, who are you?
This is Alicia over here.
And I'm Shelby over here in Vermont. Oh, we're dancing already. Just
That's right.
Thinking about this episode. You're just tuning in. Alicia and I are both dancers, so this is an episode we have been very eager to record and share with you this adventure, this journey that we've both been able to jump in and shake on and really understand the power of dance as medicine, the power of dance in this healing light, in this resurrection, in this so many different letting go and rebuilding and reminding. And it's just such a fantastic tool, and everyone can do it.
Everybody. You do not have to be a dancer.
Everybody, literally everybody can dance.
Physical body.
Look at the babies. Look at the babies. They're 1 year old and they hear the music and they start bopping. Like, nobody has to teach you this stuff. This is just intrinsic. It's cellular. It's deep.
Yes, and we're going to talk about it as a tool because it is a way to tune into your body. It's a way to shake off excess energy, stuckness, difficulty. If you are, if you know, and yesterday I had to shift my day because it was starting out pretty rough. I was thinking, oh my goodness, this day is going to be overwhelming. And so I scheduled it in to dance because I knew that was going to help me feel better. And that is big medicine. So we're going to dive into how and why and share a lot of our experience with it along the way.
Yes, we're going to curb the thousands of stories we have about dancing. So on part 45 of our dance episode, maybe we'll get to all of our stories. Well, let's talk about why. And this is something that I had to evolve and understand. I've been dancing since I've been in formalized dance classes since I was 3. I'm sure I told the story already, but I was 2 when my mom put me into dance, and I just stood there and watched. So they took me out, and I was like, I was observing. I was practicing my observation, Mom. Didn't you know that? But regardless, they put me back in at 3, and I've been dancing nonstop pretty much ever since. But when did I start to understand how dance could be my medicine was really is it before I met you, Alicia? This was in Montana, and I found a drumming African dance class.
Yes.
And up until that point, I had been in dance classes where it's 5, 6, 7, 8, and everything is choreographed and everything is taught to you, and you're inside of a structure. And amazing, right? Because inside that structure, we all need some structure. We all need the boundaries to cultivate that confidence and that intellectual connection. Like, my feet can do this step and my body responds with joy,
Yes.
Go ahead. What do you want to say?
I was just going to say, and that structure can really freak people out sometimes. If you don't feel like a dancer, it can be both. It can be really helpful because you're like, okay, yes, move my foot here, move my foot there. 1, 2, 3, 4. But if that's still really, really hard for you, then we're not going to talk about that. You are in this moment about to talk about the other side of freedom.
So yes, know that this is a very large, all-encompassing, everybody is dancing conversation. But what I wanted to share is like, when I took the African dance class and the rhythm and the vibration of the drums, like I never danced to live music. It was always from the radio, from the whatever cassette tape at that time. So here I am in Montana and there's these drummers and we're dancing across the floor. And I was like, I was so happy. It was ridiculous. And my body was doing these free and kind of more wild movements that the African dance really promotes. And then that center part at the end when you have to go in and like riff, like freestyle. Holy crap. I was frozen, Alicia. I was like, I don't know how to let my body just be. It's almost like when you do the mad crazy journaling where you don't lift your pen off the paper and you just like write and write and write and write, and you don't care if people can read it, you don't care if you can read it, you don't care if your squiggly cursive makes sense, you just write. It's like that. So that is really the ultimate place I'm hoping people can get to and embody, because that connection with the music, with the vibration, where it is totally embodied, where you're just hearing it and your body is not thinking, it's just reacting through release or letting go. That is the power of dance. That is it. Like we said earlier, there's we called it cellular stuckness. Like legitimately we get emotions and traumas and circumstances stuck in the deep crevices or crevasses of our body. You say crevice, I say crevice. Sorry, I just messed that up. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. What I'm saying. So that wild abandonment dancing that you're referring to, that is really the magic, when you can just say, I give over and I allow my body to move like in the way that it needs to facilitate healing.
Yes.
Aho.
And I was raised in dance classes as well, started at age 5, did a lot of jazz, didn't really stick with ballet, had the more like poppy, edgy dance that was my favorite. But I was so lucky to be in the festival scene with my family that are artists. We had a drum jam every night, like a massive 50-person dance that was just total freestyle. And so I learned that at a very, very young age. Like,
how cool.
I was like the teenager that was like, okay, bye, I gotta run to the drum jam. Like, and then I learned how to dance belly dance very structured. So the way that I was free in my body, I understood a lot of those movements. But then the structure came after.
Oh, that's cool.
Then I had to learn how to not only dance structure, but also dance freedom. Again, because I was so careful with my structure that I couldn't let loose as easily. And it was an African dance class that I took when I moved to Portland that reminded me that my body liked to move in lots of other ways. And it was so freeing. My story is too that Shelby, when I met you and we were in college, that was a huge part of my spiritual awakening, was to really be embodying with women that belly dance that we did. It was so helpful for me to understand my true calling within my body. My intuition and my spirit really came through. So that is my wish for everyone listening, that they really connect with that channel of energy. And we talk about the chakras, and there's definitely ways to feel into different chakra and dance or move to the expression of that energy and feel into it. And it's, for me, it's that body wisdom. It's understanding yourself more through movement.
Oh gosh, yes. So first of all, I love that, because I didn't really understand that until this moment about us, that we have these like inverted, mirrored dance experiences, you know, where when we met and came together, that was my first experience with belly dancing. And I think I told you I took the first class and I was like, oh my God, this is way too hard. And like I'd been dancing structured dance my whole life. And here I was, I think I was like 26 or something. And I was like, oh, that is so hard. And then I got pregnant. And I was like, well, I guess I should belly dance now because I'm pregnant. And that seems like the right thing to do. And so I went back and the story is written. But the thing about the way the belly dance style that we do, our first teacher, actually, I don't even know if you were there, but my first teacher at Bastyr University was
Artemis.
Was it Artemis? Yes, it was. Yeah. And she was teaching some of the Gypsy Caravan, Global Caravan, Tribal Belly Dance steps. And so that's ultimately the dance vocabulary that I latched onto and really love and resonate with. And now I'm like so enamored with my global belly dance tribe. It's so fantastic.
It's a global community.
It's tangible.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing about that style that was so different from anything else that I had done was you learn this vocabulary, but then when you dance it, it's improvisation. Yeah. So you have cues and to be so in sync with each other, where it wasn't a choreography where everybody could have like danced with their eyes closed. Like you have to be present, you have to be in the moment, and you are communicating intuitively. You're anticipating and really being inside of that person's energetic field to know, okay, she's about to shift into Gwazi, or she's about to shift into Turkish, or whatever move it's
about tuning in and being cohesive
in community.
Together. And it's like that with communication, and people can take these concepts into every area of their lives. So we're talking about yoga, we're talking about walking and biking and shaking and, you know, movement in all its forms through our language, which we both have had this dance theme throughout.
Yeah.
So
I want to shift back to dance as a language, because the belly dancing really taught me that. There was a situation once I woke up in Vermont. I was going to Oregon, and Paulette Ristini is the founder of Gypsy Caravan, Global Caravan Belly Dance, and she had invited me to perform. So I legit woke up in Vermont and was performing that night in Oregon with people I'd never met, because we all knew the same language. Yeah. How cool is that? So cool. I'm like out. You know, it was a really cool venue, but it wasn't quite a stage, but I'm out there like, yes, I'm doing this. This is amazing, you know? And so then you think about the African dance, and all my teachers I've had that did not speak English, you know, and they could just say 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we would just dance all day long. So like communication, transferring energetic joy and celebration. Like dance is just so fantastic to me. It's literally my favorite medicine. And I like medicine.
And all different forms as well.
All different forms.
And it really does come through tapping into the vibration, which music is a vibration, but you can tap into the vibration of anything. You can tap into the vibration of the wind and the trees and the birds, you know, dance the element of air and connect to the communicate with and listen to nature and mimic it and dance it and let it come through you. Yeah.
And that's one of the most fun things to do. Like if you have some music that you love, when you listen to it next time, be like, "Ooh, this is like the fire song," you know, or, "Oh, this is water. This is totally water." And then just go and dance like water. We do this all the time at the gym. The girls look at me a little funny, but I'm like, "Okay, you got to get across the floor as if you were water." And then I remind them, I'm like, "But what is water? Water could be a puddle. It could be a drip. It could be a tidal wave. It could be a rainstorm. It could be a waterfall. It could be a stream." it's so fascinating. And then you like put your body into this movement and it's just super healing and super fun. And you laugh at yourself because you're like, I'm a waterfall.
Well, and that's the thing too. No
drip,
judgment.
Baby, drip, baby, drip, baby. Oh yeah, we definitely need a playlist for this episode.
Absolutely.
Well, I have to talk about SEKU Gray for a minute. This is totally spontaneous, but he is one of my beloved friends from New York City, and he's related to the founder of like hip hop down in the city, and he really helped me because you know me, Alicia. I smile. I'm like happy, happy, happy. And so when I saw hip hop dance, I was like, I can't do hip hop. I'm too happy. Like hip hop is like tough, and I don't know how to be like that. I'm just like joy, 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 joy. And then I met SEKU, and he really helped me understand the roots and the beauty of hip hop dance. And I can resonate now with it. It took me a long time, but isn't that neat? Like you're trying to do parallels right now, and that part of your body that's a little more shy, and like, how do I open the door to dancing more grounded and more like, yeah, versus like, joy, 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 or shake, 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 or
well, and that makes me think like joy is up, so we're talking about like shimmies from your shoulders and your hands, but if you're thinking about sensuality, you might bend your knees and really like undulate and go low and connect to the earth. And I hope this is super inspiring to our listeners to get out and dance today and dance your emotions and really connect to the joy if that's what you're feeling. Or if you're not feeling a joy and you need to get through what you're going through but you want to get to joy, like that was me yesterday. I ended my day dancing in joy, and that was exactly what I wanted. But the whole day I was looking forward to that. And there were some emotions I had to navigate through. And, there could be some stomping, you can dance your anger. You can
dance your earth. Yeah.
Yes. And there's so many ways to really passionately connect to your body and to your energy and use that vibrational frequency and move.
Give yourself permission to just be with the movement and be inspired. And so that's what we're trying to say is if, you don't have to go to a dance class and you don't have to learn some choreography, just put on the song and listen. And if it's got a higher vibration, then like Alicia just said, be in your shoulders, be in your rib cage, be in your heart, be in your throat, move your head like side to side and maybe dance through your fingertips. But then if you have something with more of like a bass beat and like drop into your knees and like open your toes and take your shoes off and just really feel your power. Yeah, and circle and figure eights and like, ooh, and that's another fun game I love to do is you've got layers of music, right? And each song has like sometimes has 4 different frequencies and you're like, okay, right now I'm up here in my heart. Oh, just went down to my root. Oh yeah. like that's another thing I really, really, really miss right now is live like band music where you've got a saxophone player, you got a drummer, you got a bass player, you got a guitar player, and then you've got vocals. And man, I am like, so here's a quick story. We had an open mic downtown. I'm in Rutland, and just this little open mic on Wednesday nights. I've always had Wednesday nights off from my kids, and I've always coached. But for like 3 years, this is early years of Cobra. This was my medicine. I would just go, and I said to myself, I understand I am the only person who dances at open mic, and that is okay because I give myself permission to dance. And I would dance. Like I would not hold back. Like I'm in the middle of a bar with no one else dancing, except once in a while people would join me and I would just rip it out and just dance. And no one's complaining, like nobody was like, what are you doing again? Dancing here, the help that it allowed me to decompress. It allowed me to release the stress of owning the business and having 3 little kids and it wasn't that I needed to do it in public. It was just, I needed that live feedback I needed the musician. I needed the vibration of the big bass amp or whatever. I don't know the terms for that, but like that speaker right in front of me that's like, boom, 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 and like, it was just so soothing to my soul. And I probably couldn't have told you that those years ago, but I can tell you that now, that that really was a tool for survival for me. So,
Yes. Yeah. And let it, like we call it our medicine, but let it be that tool. Let it be that healing experience. Let it be the way that you get through the hard times
mhm.
or celebrate the good times. I mean, we're all used to dancing at weddings and all the things that are celebratory, but use it to really process if that's where you're at and what you need to release, the valve.
The steamer.
Yep.
So much. And as when you said that, I thought of like a hammer. Like, you don't look at a hammer and think, oh, this is the end all be all. The hammer is the tool to make the things, or a saw. Like, I'm redoing my bathroom right now, so there's tools all over the place. And like, that's what music is. That's what your body is. It's a vessel, and your vessel needs to be, like you just said, boo, like that steam needs to be let out.
Yes.
Obviously you can do this in singing. You can do this, like you said, in yoga. You can do this walking. Paulette taught us this really awesome walking meditation where you'd go, like, I think it's 4 steps forward and 4 steps back, bump, and 4 steps forward and 4 steps back. And you literally go places, because for some reason you tend to walk forward bigger, and then you just go back, 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 and then big forward. Oh yeah. And we do it with music. You can do it outside. Like,
you can do that in the kitchen. I mean,
you can do it in the kitchen.
Heck yeah. Across the kitchen, from the sink to the stove, whatever.
You're like, Mom, why is it taking so long for dinner? I'm like, well, I keep moving forward, but then I move back. It's so funny. Yes. Oh my God. Speaking of the kids, when you feel friction, I've been recently studying with Judy, our spiritual midwife. When you feel static and friction in your house, put on like some swing music. Put on something that's like bump, bow, or whatever resonates with you. But like for me, swing music, and sometimes like saucy swing music, I'm like, it just shifts everything. And then if your kids are like, wow, Mom was kind of mad a minute ago, now she's like twirling around in the kitchen. Okay. Like, it gives them permission to be like, okay, energy can shift, and we don't have to be stuck in this negative yuck space that we all came home grumpy, whatever. Shift the vibe.
I love that. Shift the vibe. The music can shift the vibe. The movement can shift the vibe. And I love how we keep bringing up, don't hold back. Don't be so worried about what you look like or what other people might think, just, I love when, a band is up on stage and they're like, okay, come on, everybody, let's dance. And people are so tentative. And I'm like, all right, fine, I'll get out there. Like, let's
Heck yeah, man.
give everybody else permission. I will do that, because I feel so comfortable in my dance. I want everybody to feel comfortable in their dance. Come on, join me.
That makes me think of one of the last times I saw you. I was out visiting with you because I was training with Paulette.
Yep.
And she had given us this like homework to do. I'm not even remembering what it was, but I chose instead to go out dancing with you. And it was that awesome band, and we were like dancing all night. And we have those pictures with the drummers and the musicians.
Oh, gosh, yes.
And in the morning, she's like, okay, Shelby, did you do your homework? I'm like, I kind of did, but I did it differently. I was like, I went dancing and said, does that count?
For a dance class homework, you'd think that
I think count. She kind of gave me this like, okay, I'm going to let that slide. And if you know Paulette, it was an awesome moment. I was like, he smile. It was awesome.
Amazing.
Yes. So I really wanted to say that quote. I love this. So Toko-pa Turner is somebody I've been connecting with. She wrote the book Belonging, and it's a book about remembering yourself. Remembering yourself home is what the title is. Toko-pa Turner. And she writes that we spend so much time worrying about how to approach our future that we rarely consider how approachable we might be. And so that, Alicia, tells me, like, I want my vibration. I want my body to not hold stagnancy. I want it to not hold muck and stuck. And I want to be approachable to the universe. I want to be approachable to Mother Earth. I mean, approachable to the right people. I want to attract the vibration of people that are going to bring me joy, that are going to say, I see you, girl, and I'm here to celebrate with you. And so what is it right now about you? And you don't even have to identify. I'm getting full body chills. You don't have to identify it. You just say, I know there's something stuck in, so I got to get it out. And that's the thing about dance. You don't have to go in and talk about it. You're like, no, I'm just going to shake about it. I'm going to shake about it, and I'm going to undulate about it, and I'm going to over here about it.
Yep, start stepping.
Stomp over there about it. Yes. And then you just feel better, and you just do that, and you keep doing that. And then your approachability, your centeredness, your real, true, authentic alignment can start to blossom and can start to be like, oh, there's a little more space in here. Oh, we could flower now,
Yes, openness, spaciousness. Oh, I love it. There's something else we wanted to say too about dancing with it and not battling against it. So that, take that energy, and instead of resisting and pushing, I mean, you can actually do that in dance. You can say, okay, I notice I'm resisting. And what does that look like when I move that and become that in movement? And when you're pushing away, I mean, sometimes my partner and I dance. I'm so lucky to be with a dancer. He, will do that, like walk towards each other, and he'll turn around and walk away from me. And I'm like, ooh, I'm going to chase you. And, like we do this push pull, which is so fun. So don't consider your energy around this topic to be something you need to battle with. Just play with it. Just flow with it. Let it be a little bit of a push pull within your movement, and allow that to show you where you're pushing and pulling within yourself, and where that centered place is that you want to be. If you want to hold joy, if you want to hold love, if you want to hold freedom, and where you're not able to do that because it's constricting you, and move it out.
Yeah, really witness yourself and don't judge yourself. Like you just said, like, just be like, oh, I see that I'm nervous to, like, if you're doing a contact improv, like you're kind of like, and I'm not trying to be technical here, but if you're dancing with somebody and you're like, ooh, I'm shy when we're face to face, or, ooh, that makes me feel, just be with it. Be like, okay, I see that. Okay. Thank you, body, for showing me that. Thank you. And always show gratitude and appreciation for your body. Because as we get inside of this dance, you are literally embodying your soul. You're saying, I am a human on this soul journey. I'm in this human body right now. So sometimes it's annoying to be human, but
yeah.
But here we are. And so if we can embrace the capacity of what being human means, which means we can dance, we can have sensual experiences, we can giggle and laugh, and we can cry. We can cry. And just allowing that to come out. I know a lot of times I do a lot of tapping if I'm dancing like with abandonment, and I start tapping on my chest or tapping on my face, or I use vocal like responses to whatever I'm feeling. And I do a lot of shaking. I do a lot of brushing. You do a whole thing on brushing in your soul coaching, and, brushing the energy and calming it or fluffing it up. Like it really, like we got a whole many episodes, right? What did we say? Episode 42.
Well, we might need to do a dance series workshop for everyone, and do just like some video that is included, because it does just, it wakes you up to even see people moving in different ways. I love watching people dance and mimicking some of those movements. I'm like, oh, that's not usually the way I move, but I'm going to experiment, and I'm going to bring in something new into my body and see how it feels, and see if I can naturally incorporate it. Nope. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Then that's not my medicine, just, but you got to practice, you got to try, you got to tap in and feel how it flows through you.
Yeah. And feel, I like that you said that, because it's not about how you look. Like a lot of times I turn my dancers away from the mirror. It's like, let's just feel this. Okay. Let's just feel it. And that's why I like the circle too at the end, because even though you're being seen and being witnessed, you're not reflecting on how you look. You're just feeling it. And I mean, I do want to admit, like, it was terrifying for me as a trained dancer to go and improv in a circle. It was legit terrifying. Now I'm like, I'll do a big cartwheel to get into it. I'm like, okay, here we go. Boom.
Yeah.
But that took me years. And so, like, everybody be patient, be like kind, gentle. Yes. Do this with grace. Or you're like, heck no, I'm going to go out and stomp all through the grass right now. Like, do it with it however feels right. There's a big difference, ladies, I'm talking to you, and men, I'm talking to everybody, between sensual dancing and sexual dancing. And I think it's part of my life's mission to help people define that, because there's such a stigma against sexuality. But we are sexual creatures. We are sensual creatures. We are like, we want to feel that grounded love and passion. And these are all emotions that are so natural. This is part of being human. This is the benefits of being human, right?
Right.
So, like, teaching our young girls, teaching our next generations that sensuality is acceptable, and it's not just gratifying, it's essential, to tap into your feminine and to tap into your masculine inside of your feminine. Like, we could talk about that all another episode. So
absolutely. I want to call out to Ayla Nero, because she has a song that is about dancing in her body that I don't know the name of it. We'll put it on the playlist. Because it's just like, here I am dancing for me. I am wearing what I want for me. And that sensuality is a personal experience of deliciousness, of love, of passion, of sensation, and allowing that to be a part of our language, allowing that to be a part of who we are, instead of squashing it down into a little box, reserving it only for your one partner and not for, like, we're sensual with each other and just this really beautiful, like, dancers just are, I think.
Yeah.
And if you're not a dancer and you don't know exactly how to incorporate that, start with the things that you do understand. If it's food and you're like, I move when I eat something delicious. And I'm like, but that's what we're talking about, that sensual, tactile, experiential connection to this human body.
Yeah, permission to enjoy and to celebrate. Like, you're saying that, like, I don't know, I'm tasting guacamole for some reason. Maybe it was Cinco de Mayo. Like that. Ooh, yes. I do have to shout out. I wanted to say something about Alvin, Ailey. If you guys need some motivation, watch some Alvin, Ailey videos. Those are some beautiful humans right there. But it was years and years and years ago, before I met you, Alicia, that I watched one of his performers do it, like a spoken word. So she had recorded this. It was about her being in New York City and how she walks down the street and people don't engage. There's not a hey, how are you? It's just a And so she recorded this and then she danced it out. And I watched it so many times because I was fascinated that it was this emotional, verbal communication, and the way she moved her body and articulated the story. I was like, oh yes. So,
I want to see that. You'll have to send it out. We'll put it on our YouTube.
I will. And then lastly, our artist who drew our two spiritual mamas, our little logo there, she is Felicity Haselton, and she is Hello Soul. And her art, you guys, it is like, hits me right to my core. It's movement. It's like Shazam.
She captures that dancer, the movement, the spirals, the flow. Yeah, I love seeing it in visual art as well.
Yeah. So if you need that inspiration, I know one of her images got you through your day yesterday.
I put it as my screensaver. It was the thing that got me through. I was like, I want to feel like that by the end of the day. And it was this this very passionate dancer. So thank you, Felicity, and thank you for our beautiful artwork. And thank you all for being willing to listen and dance and experience this beautiful human form that we're so grateful to be in our bodies and to have all these emotions and ability to dance them and flow with them and move that and shift our frequency and tap in. And it's just such a blessing to be here on Mother Earth in this incarnation
it's
right
such
now.
an expansive language. I'm so thrilled to be on this planet with all of you. Yay!
Yay
for dance. Yay for movement.
And we'll talk much more about it. And we weave this throughout our episodes. So please check out our Instagram, our website is twospiritualmamas.com. Yeah, we post things on Facebook, and we will have workshops coming soon. Shelby is doing some dance stuff, and it's coming soon. So here it goes. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, now I have to do it. I love you. Thanks a lot. Bye, everyone.